what I am actually. Yeah.
Oh, did that messed you up, huh? Recording in progress threw everybody for a loop right there. So the last thing I heard, you said got into a size 14, and you don't
Yeah.
weigh yourself every 2 weeks, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
Weigh myself on a weekly basis because I'm not there emotionally to accept whatever's on that scale. So I base myself more on what I'm wearing and how it's fitting me.
Cool, cool, cool. Well, congrats on 2 weeks of getting to that size 14. But that was your goal. Now we're just gonna keep on slimming on down. Fantastic. So now that it's our time. So again, this is our weekly call. We have it every Tuesday. The first part of it, the first 30 minutes, is our client support, and we'll be going over element 23 in our life book. This is just a engagement conversation. So you guys share what you guys thought, what you got out of this element. Even though if you're not there right now, we're just going over this book to help us all go through this book at the same time. And then once we do get to that element, we're more familiar with it. And the second part is our coaching call. So you guys can stay on if you're not a coach and you want to know more about it. And that'll be the second half at 6:30. So I'm gonna pass it over to Ricky. Ricky is gonna do this element for us, element 23. So go ahead, Ricky, take it away. You got to come off mute.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. My name is Ricky Thornton, and I've been with Optavia now for about 4 months. And so far, I've lost about maybe 34, maybe 35 pounds. I'm not exactly sure, but because we're here and we don't have a scale, but we're helping my sister out, as Carol says. I live in Fairhope, Alabama. And my non-scale victory, if I may so say so, is that I accepted this challenge from Shadon on a 2-3 hour notice. And that's what I'm working on, accepting challenges. And so I accepted it, and I'm glad I accepted. I feel better about it. I enjoyed the information, and I shared it with my sister, and it was helpful for her. And so we're going to discuss element 23. If everybody have their life books, I think it's page 452. And what we're going to do is explore the role of our emotions and learn to manage and master how they can be channeled to help us create optimal health and well-being. I know everybody wants to do that. But I just got to say, that is too much good stuff in this element just to go over for a brief synopsis. They suggested we use 2 to 4 weeks to really go over this and study it and apply it to ourselves. So take the time to do that. But I will give you a little brief breakdown. So learning that, what determines how much and how often and how healthy or we really eat, what determines how active and how often we exercise, and that's our emotions. And our emotions affect us every second of every day, and they are the energy that directs every aspect of our life. When functioning as designed, our emotions connect our biology and our behavior into a beautiful resonating song that flows through our body and creates a sense of well-being within us. But sad to say, less than 5% of people have developed mastery of their emotions at the level where they will feel the calm and focus that they are allowed to be the dominant force in their lives. And I know that's what we all would like to have. And the ability to successfully manage our emotions is now thought to be the central cause of almost all disease and lack of wellness. Studies show that people who are more in control of their lives are healthier, happier, more cheerful, and more alive. And I'm sure that's what we would all like to be too as well. And in a senior citizen complex, they did a study where they allowed one group of people to select their surroundings, like, the layout of their apartment or room, or colors and furniture and all that kind of a thing. So they were more in control of their lives. But they had another group where they were just flopped into place, and they had no control whatsoever. But see, the results was that the people who, after a 2-year period, who had more control over their lives actually lived longer. And so that's what we want, to be able to choose. So if you're able to choose, you're more in control of your life, and so you will have a better life. And the message is clear: when the control is with you, we feel that we are dictating the conditions of our life, and we are emotionally much better off in our health and well-being, and we're in a stronger state. In this element, you will develop emotional literacy, emotional coherence, health management to align with our emotions, with our goals of reaching and maintaining optimal health and well-being. You will not create a happy ever after Cinderella state by positive thinking, because life doesn't go that way, and we all know that. But we will learn that it is not the events or the situations that impact the outcome, but rather what happens emotionally as a result of these events. And your response to these ups and downs will help you buffer, or they can make you explode in toxicity. So as a child, we were mostly taught to stifle our emotions. Don't be sad, don't be scared, etc. I'm sure you all told that, like I was too. So that's what we do, rather than learn from them or deal with them. And then as adults, we find ourselves in trouble because now we've suppressed all these emotions. And one of the most common emotions that we feel and that we learn through the years is, I am not enough. And so people find themselves, women look at themselves and, I'm not pretty enough, I'm not this and I'm not that. Or the man finds himself feeling that he's not strong enough, he can't provide enough, he can't take care of his family. So all of those are things, that push you down, and emotions that make you feel bad. And so we don't want to let on to others. What turns out rather is that we don't let others know what's really going on inside of us. We put forth a front that shows us doing everything right and everything perfect, whereas deep down inside, we're not feeling that way at all. And as a result of that, over the years, all this plays over and over in your head, and then we start denying our emotions, both to ourselves and to others. And so what we want to do, is understand the emotions and know where we feel the emotion. And this will be an indication of what emotion may be involved and lead you to rapid awareness. So on pages 472 and 473 are some little quizzes that you can go over when you study this element, and also element 4 that kind of goes hand in hand with it. And when you do that, then you can see where you are and help you to examine your emotions. But I would just like to read this page here, page 475, I think that. I have very terrible eyes, please, and there's very bad light in this house. I think I can get it, but if I don't get it, I'll hand it to Carol and let her read it. It says, if you find that the anger you're feeling is unconscious, it is usually some previously conditioned response when you are feeling threatened, and is probably coming out as a need to blame someone or something, or the need to be right. If you take the time to examine these feelings, you will start to build a deeper understanding of what makes you do what you do. And you will become better at recognizing when you are below the line, and you can gain control and produce the outcome that is in your own and others' best interest. Fully experiencing emotions that are pure response to changing conditions is important. So you got to really experience it. It says, in your own story, you may have been bottling your emotions and pushing them aside, or brooding on those emotions until they become fact, which lowers your state of well-being as you get stuck in this loop. And there's a lot of talk that goes on in the loop, and there's a lot of playing things out in our minds, but it's from the position of the emotion. You're swamped, and you're seeing the world from the perspective of your emotion. It also affects your relationships, because when you push your emotions aside, it is hard to connect with others in an authentic way. Also, if you are commiserating with a friend and co-brooding on a situation, it really does not let you focus on what you can learn, but instead validates why you were upset with your mother-in-law, so to speak. This also makes your friend an enabler. Now you are an observer with a courageous, curious perspective that allows you to figure out what this emotion is telling you. This attitude helps us to contemplate why we are feeling this and what value it holds for us. It means we can question what we need to do and to use our thinking brain in this situation and consider what makes sense in terms of our health and well-being. So we want to stop, challenge, choose. This creates a space between stimulus and response. And in that space is the power to choose growth and freedom. And that's what we want to do. So that's what I got from it. And now everybody can share what they found extra in this article. All right, Shadon.
Yeah. What I really like about this is, growing up, and I'm pretty sure everybody in this group will adhere to this. When your parent says, "Do this because I said so," even though it didn't make sense to you as a kid, but just because I said so, that's the same how I feel this is understanding the emotions to learn the reason why the actions that our parents want us to do it. So they never explained it, but it was just the mindset of passed down of do this because I said so. So this opens up that to release that away, because now we're challenging I don't know, I think that's my computer. Do you guys hear that noise? Okay, that's my computer. So I really like this because it's that whole mindset that we all have was just passed down. Just do this because I said so, or somebody told you, but we never really took the time to challenge that emotion, how we feel when something was told to us, and breaking it down and having that time to stop, challenge, and choose, and understanding how we feel in that moment. So this is something that I'm passing down to my kids is the challenging part of the reasoning why we want to do something, so they fully understand.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I'll share something. This is actually one of my favorite elements in our life book, 4 and 23, element 4 and 23, because there's a statistic that 80% of people, this is a proven statistic, 80% of people that go on a weight loss plan or some type of diet, if they do not make behavioral changes, usually gain the weight back. Again, 80% of people, and we know there's all types of diets, programs out there, but 80% of people that go on something, even our program, if they do not make behavioral changes, they will gain the weight back. And that's a huge number. And what I love about what we have here in Optavia is that we focus so much on making those behavioral changes. We focus so much on the mindset. And this is why we hear your coach is probably always saying, this is not a diet. It's a lifestyle change, because that's really what we focus on is the mindset and those behavioral changes. But and then one thing I love about just Optavia is that it's a health and wellness company disguised as a personal development company. Even as a coach, clients, we spend so much time focusing on developing and growing ourselves as humans, as people, as clients, as coaches. And so talking a lot about in 462 about mismanaged emotions is the reason why a lot of people become sick. One thing I've learned is as I'm talking to clients and we're on a health assessment and why people aren't successful with this, it's not the food. It's not because of the food, or it's not because of the coach. It's usually some of the habits or the lifestyle or things that they got going on. And so what I love about this element is that it really digs in there and helps you to start thinking about what are some of those mismanaged emotions that on how we got to where we're at, and how do we make a lifelong transformation. So that was just something I wanted to share. I appreciate about this particular element.
Anybody else? Who's that? Claudia?
You're muted, Claudia.
I didn't want you guys to hear what I was saying anyway. Okay, no, I was reading this, and when I first got started with the first few pages, and first of all, I can tell you what I struggle with the most sometimes is anger, cynicism, judgmental, and bossy. Okay, but I'm aware that I have these qualities. And I became aware of that a long time ago. And so I constantly try to work on them. And in reading in this book, it was talking about think about it. I pause a lot when I deal with people and when I deal with situations, because I do get angry quickly. But I've learned to stop, pause, challenge that anger as to why I'm angry, and assess it. And I can do that pretty fast. And that kind of works for me. I'm a lot better now dealing with anger. But when I was reading the beginning of this book, and at first when it was talking about our emotions connect our biology and our behavior into a beautiful resonating song that flows through our body and creates a sense of well-being, the cynicism kicked in. And I said, okay, keep reading. Because to me, that was not a realistic statement. We can't live like that. You know, you have to live in the world and react to the world and learn how to react to the world. But as I kept reading, it really got interesting as far as when it was talking about how to deal with it. He eventually says that we can't live in a state of beautiful resonating song that's flowing through our bodies all the time. We have to learn to work on this. And they have that little section in here. It's on page, oh, my glasses don't work with or without, 467, when it talks about our lower brains. And that's how we function. And it was very funny. It was talking about the lizard brain. And I don't know exactly when I first heard about the lizard brain, but it was a while back. And that's our emotional brain. And people go, well, why do people act like this? And why do they believe stuff? And why do they, like our situation here in the United States now? And I go, well, I said, because people are using their lizard brain. And I even heard it once on the news. They said the lizard brain, and that's our emotions, and they drive us. And I've learned that over the years. I asked myself, what am I going with? Have you thought this out? Or are you just going on emotion? Your little lizard brain has kicked in. And it's your lowest emotional state. A lot of us are in that. That's part of our fight or flight. So it's now getting very interesting. It talks about the Labrador and the human thinking, and I'm really going to have to read that in depth. I didn't have a chance, but it is making me think more. I've always tried to help myself But I think this is going to help give me external help, like this emotional list. You know, what am I feeling? And it gives me more. I usually do my anger. I ask myself, what am I feeling? But now it gives me all these different avenues to look at. And I think this will help me with the program better, to help, because like I said, I'm a little bit of a cynic and I'm trying to, I don't know how to that portion of me. So hopefully this will help me get through it. But I do like the program. I like the fact that it has these elements. And I like the fact that we have this call, because I think if it was not for this call, I probably would not have diligently read these elements as we go through them. You say there's an element, read on it. So I start reading on it. Now I'm gonna have to start reading on them a little earlier. But I do like the fact that you have the elements. And this element was really good. Last week's element was what first tuned me into them. And I do hope as we get to the end, we will go back and start on the beginning elements, because I just have been doing this about a month and a half. So I haven't read all these elements. And you guys are giving me a good starting point. And like I said, this emotion one seems to be one people should really read and get a handle on your emotions, because we react first. And however we react will dominate how we proceed unless we check how we react. That's all. That's all. Next.
That was a mic drop. Good job, Claudia. Anybody else has anything to add on or share?
I'll say something. You know what? It's just really cool how like mindset is really the key to everything. Like this is really the beginning. Like it all starts. If you're gonna want success, and it's just not about like the dieting or losing weight. If you want to get success at anything, it really starts like up here. Like it really starts with that hack, right? Like you're hacking your brain, because your brain wants to keep you comfortable. It's totally designed to do that. When your ego is challenged, when you feel that you're being like put in a place that doesn't align with your thoughts and your beliefs, like you get those feelings, like your throat gets tighter, you might get goosebumps, you might get the chills down your back. Like that's your body signaling that, hey, this is not something we like. And like Claudia was saying, yeah, you react because all that stimulus goes from the bottom up, from the lizard brain to the dog brain. And if you do stop, like she was saying, stop, challenge, choose, that's the break that you need to get to your big, beautiful thinking brain. And so this all happens with awareness, right? Like the whole idea that knowledge is power. And if people aren't exposed to these things, they just keep repeating that cycle. You know, like I know Dr. A likes to talk a lot about like updating their software. If people don't update their software, they stay in those reactive stages because it's so normal for them to do that. And so that's why events like this, like our weekly calls, the life book, those things are very powerful in regards to our personal development, because that's what we're here for, right? We're here because something didn't work. And as a result, we want to see a change. And I encourage everyone to jump around on a life book, because it really offers guidance towards betterment. And that's what's up.
That's what's up. That's how you end it. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you guys, everyone. Thank you, Ricky, for taking over Element 23. We appreciate it. You did a wonderful job. Like Claudia mentioned, this call was made to help us get through our life book, because we know it's kind of hard just to get in this book just by ourselves, or when even though we're being told to get into it. So we made this call to help us all get into this life book. And we only got 3 more chapters until we completed it, and then we're going to pick it right back up and start at element number 1, because we're all coming into this at different phases. And just because we're going over this element doesn't mean that's where you are. So everyone's not at the same element. This is just to help us get in the life book and help us to know when we are at that element, we have more understanding of that element. So don't worry, Claudia, we're going to come back, start at chapter 1, element number 1 again once we're over. So I thank everyone for coming on. We appreciate it. And now next week, same time, same channel, we're going to hop on to element 24, your journey to a higher consciousness. So we got a special guest for that one too next week. So now we're going to shift over to our coaching call, and this will be handled by James. If you're not a coach and you want to stay on, you can stay on and learn more about coaching if that's something you want to do. And now we'll pass over to you, James. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, Shadon and Ricky. I was going to say Carol. Thank you, Ricky, for handling that. Really, really appreciate it. And everyone for your comments and sharing, what this element truly, truly means to you. And again, I feel it's one of the most important ones, because we really focus on working through our mindset, which is huge when it comes to making a lifestyle change and behavioral changes. So as Shadon said, we're going to transition into our coaching call. And for any clients that stand on, you're more than welcome. Every week we come together as coaches, we huddle on how we can serve more people, how we can become, help more people, how we can become better coaches, and how we can build our business, because we're all in the business of helping people. So this is what we're going to be discussing and talking about today. So in the subject, I thought it'd be really, really cool to talk about is we're going to do some system checks. And let's see, you probably, if you were on the Fraser call last night, he discussed this. He also posted a video in ED, 6 weeks to ED. But I thought it'd be really cool to dive deeper into this and really, really spend some time on this system check, because we're all here because we want to help people, right? For all the coaches that are here, just nod at me or wink your eyes if you came because you want to help people. Yeah. Okay. Very, very cool. So in our business, in this business, how we help people is we acquire clients. And when we acquire clients, we support those clients and we help them to reach their goals. So what we're going to be discussing and talking about is our systems check, because we love systems. And to be successful in this business, what's really cool is you don't have to figure anything out. Like you don't have to try to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to try to guess. There's a system already in place to help you to be successful. And if you want to be successful, all you have to do, I say this all the time, is just follow the system. Success leaves clues. Find someone that's successful and just follow the leader. Just do exactly what they do in order to be successful. So speaking about systems, it's almost like our program. Everybody here knows our most popular program, the 5-in-1. If someone came to you and said, I want to lose some weight and I want to get healthy, I want to drop some weight, we have a system to help them lose that weight, right? How do we do it? Someone says, I want to lose weight. We just follow the system. You're going to eat 5 of these fuelings. You're going to have 1 lean and green that you're going to measure and weigh out. And you're going to drink at least 64 ounces of water. That's our system to lose weight. But now if someone came to you and that client says, well, I want to lose weight, but I don't want to do the 5-in-1. I want to do a 5-in-1-ish. I want to eat 4 fuelings and I want to have a pie at night and I only want to drink 20 ounces of water. Are they going to be successful? Well, I don't know, because that's not our system. All I know is our system. And I know that if you follow the system, it's been proven, it's been tried, it's been tested for many, many years. For actually, it was just announced at convention, over 2 million people has been impacted through this program, and it works. So the same thing when it comes to coaching and acquiring clients, there's a system in place. So if you want to be successful, you just follow the system, just like our 5-in-1. So what is our system? So we're going to do a quick system check on acquiring clients. How do I go out and acquire as many clients as I want? And again, I know we're all here because we want to acquire clients. I know we all have different goals on the amount of clients we want to help. You know, I know there's a few coaches on here that just want to help out their sister or their mom. And that's great. That's amazing. We appreciate you. We need you. There's also people on here that want to help a lot of people. There's coaches on here that want to help all their family and their community, and they want to help as many people as possible. So we're going to go over our system on how to acquire as many clients as you want. So I'm going to give you guys the biggest tip on how to do that. The very, very first thing that you must do is you have to be very, very clear on what you want. Like, you have to be very, very clear on what do you want and why are you here? And how many people do you want to help? Or just what are your goals? What is it that you want? We have to be very, very clear and very specific too when it comes to your goals and what you want. Very, very clear. I hear people say, well, I want to help some people. Well, how many people do you want to help? And that's very, very important to know. Well, how many people do you want to help? People say, I'm doing this, I'm here as a coach because I want income. Okay, that's wonderful. But how much income do you want to earn? What's amazing about everything we do that we only make income when we're actually helping people. So we are going to talk about money because this is a business, but I don't want you guys to think we're only money and transactional. For every dollar that is earned, someone's life is being transformed. Someone is being helped physically, mentally, and financially. So of course, there's two sides of our business, the transformational and transactional. So we're discussing, talk about both. So that's the first thing, is being very, very clear on what you want. For those that say, I want freedom. Well, what does that mean? And I want you guys to think about that for a minute. You know, what does that mean? I want freedom. What does that mean to you? Because for everybody, that's different. What exactly do you need to be free? So if that means you want freedom from your job, you want time freedom, well, in order for you to be free, what does that mean? What does that mean financially? Like, put a dollar sign on that. If you say, you know, I would love to, I want to build, you know, an addition to our house. Well, how much is that going to cost you? Is that going to cost you? I know there's coaches on here that want to move out and purchase their own house. Well, how much do you need coming in every single month? So what we want to do is you want to figure out, what do you want, and then attach a dollar sign to that. What does that mean financially in order for you to accomplish that? And again, it's not about the money, but really, what does that money or what does that dollar represents? For some people, that could be freedom, spending more time with their kids, with time with their grandchildren, you know, being able to walk away from a stressful job that they don't like, getting out of a job where they're making you come to work and there's you know, a COVID pandemic going on and you don't want to be there. What does that mean, and what does that look like for you? So I do want to show you guys, and I'm sure everybody's seen this, but as we're talking about finances, I want to pull up and show you guys our Optavia compensation plan. Because when we talk about connect a dollar sign to that, this is very, very important. This is very, very important. So I know when I look at, I'm kind of scaling on who's here in this list, and I know everybody's here at different levels, but I'm going to talk to the majority of people, because I know majority on this call, their next step is to go executive director. Their next goal is ED. Of course, we have some people that are past that on here, or we have some people that are already ED, but they want to help their coaches go ED. So I'm going to talk to those that are in that line of going from a new coach to executive director. So this here is our Optavia compensation plan. And because this is being recorded, I'm going to post this and share it. I don't know our income disclosure by heart, but you guys know it. You guys heard it. These aren't actual incomes. Every dollar is based off hard work and commitment and consistency and all that good stuff. Okay. So plug in our income disclosure here. So everybody starts here off at health coach. And I'm just going to skip through all of these because the next goal for a lot of us is right here, what we call executive director. As an executive director, you're supporting about 19 clients. And with those 19 clients, you're making Optavia is going to pay you about $2,200. Of course, there's a few stops in between there. We know our first stop is senior coach, but the first huge milestone after senior coach is executive director. And that's where we're supporting about 19 clients and making about $2,200. And then we all know the next rank after that is integrated executive director, where you're an executive director, you're supporting about you have 5 coaches and you help them go senior coach. Optavia is going to pay you about $5,500. The next step is global director, where you're an executive director and you have 5 coaches on your team and who are executive director as well, supporting about 19 clients. And then of course, the highest rank is integrated presidential director, where, you know, they're making a very, very good income. So, but we're going to focus here on executive director, because something I do want to share is that when a coach actually makes a decision, let me stop sharing because I want to talk to you guys about this. When a coach actually makes a decision that they want to go executive director, it only takes 6 weeks to do it. I've seen people do it quicker, but it usually about 4 to 6 weeks once they make a decision that they want to do. And this is why it's so important to really be clear on what you want, because once you make that decision, it doesn't take long. I remember when I first started coaching, the first time I went executive director, it took me 2.5 months as a brand new coach. Went executive director in 2.5 months. I did it with all clients. 2.5 months, I was supporting about 20 clients. And then I wasn't really focused on coaching, and I had a lot of other stuff come up. I was coaching high school basketball and personal training, and we had just gotten into basketball season. And I stopped focusing on Optavia. I wasn't checking in with clients. I wasn't getting on trainings. And of course, you know, clients come and go. But I went from executive director back down to senior coach. And that was in a few months. That was in basketball season, about 3 months, 3.5 months. And then after basketball season, I was coaching high school basketball. I remember I called my coach, Jamil, and I said, okay, Jamil, I'm serious. I want to build this and I want to get back to executive director. And then of course he asked, we talked about why is that's important and what would that represent? And that for me, it represented a lot. You know, it was extra income because we were struggling financially. I didn't want to go back to work at a full-time job for anyone else. So that going executive director represent a freedom for me. So I told Jamil, I'm serious and I'm ready to do it. I made a decision. I was going to go executive director, and I went from senior coach back to executive director in 1 month. In 1 month. And again, I tell you guys, this is because once a coach actually makes a decision to do it, it's not that hard and it doesn't take that long. So one of the most important things you want to do to go executive director is we want to do what's called lines on paper. We want to make what's called lines on paper. And if you were on that call that Jamil did, he explained that. But for those that weren't, I will discuss it and talk about it, what lines on paper is and what that means. So can everybody pull out a piece of paper? For those that actually want to go executive director, pull out a piece of pen and paper. And I'm going to show you guys exactly, remember our systems. I'm going to show you our systems on how I went from senior coach supporting 5 or 6 clients to executive director in a month once I made a decision I want to do it. Okay, you guys got a piece of paper? Okay, and what you're going to do is at the top of that, we're going to title this Lines on Paper. And then on one side of the paper, write down number it from 1 to 19. Number that from 1 to 19. And then on the other half of that paper, number it 1 through 5. So it's going to look something like this. If you don't understand what I'm saying, I have over here 1 through 19. And then here, number it 1 through 5. Okay, 1 through 19 and 1 through 5. So what is this 19? So remember, it only takes about 19 clients in order for us to go executive director. And why do we put these lines on paper? Is because visually, when you put these names, when you put these numbers down and you put these names down on paper, this is the very first step of accomplishing and making it happen. And so what you're going to do with these lines is every single day, every single morning, you're going to wake up and look at these lines on paper. And the first thing you're going to think to yourself is, who can I serve today? So write that down. Above or below your 19, write, who can I serve today? This is probably the biggest tip I can give you guys for reaching executive director is who can I serve today? Every single morning, every single night, this is what we're going to look at. And to be honest, guys, sometimes I do it on my whiteboard. I'll show you guys here. I have right behind me, I have my whiteboard of my names. I'll do it on the whiteboard or I'll do it on a piece of paper. And every single morning when I walk into my office, I literally will stare at that whiteboard and I think to myself, who, based off my action steps today, based off me starting conversations, based off me living out loud and posting on Facebook, based off me picking up the phone and calling, who can I serve today? Who am I going to help? And so every time you bring on a client, or if you're already serving clients, like I know, like for example, Tamar, Tamar has about 8, 9 clients, maybe more now. On her lines, she's going to already fill in those 8, 9. So we know she has only about 8, 9 more in order to reach executive director. Okay. And then every single day, we're going to stare at these lines. And our question we're going to ask is, based off my action steps, who's going on my paper? And again, I don't know who, but I know based off my action steps, I'm going to find someone that I'm going to help serve and transform their life, and they're going to go on my paper. This is it all goes with leading from the future and acting in the now, which is one of our habits of a transformational leader. And so we are writing these names down on paper, and this is what we're going to focus on consistently. And each day, each morning, this is what I look at and focus on. Okay. The next step. So there's really 5 steps in order to reach executive director. 5 steps. The first one is writing down the lines on paper and staring at every single day, asking yourself, who can you serve? The second step to reach an executive director is you have to be very, very clear on what you want and connecting an income to it. So for those that do want to go executive director, we know financially that's about $2,200 a month. I want you to really, really think about or write down if OptiV was paying you an extra $2,200 every single month, write this on your paper, how would that benefit you? How would that help you? If you're serving about 19 clients and you had $2,200, an extra $2,200 come into your account every month, what would that do for you? How would that help you? What would you do with that $2,200? $2,200, $2,300? Who else, if it's not about the money and you don't need it, who can you donate it to? Who can you give it away to? How can that extra income help serve somebody else? What could it do for your kids, your sisters, your brothers, your parents? Okay. So that's the second thing, is we want to be very, very clear on what you want. The third simple system and step to reach executive director is we want to make, we have to know what you're excited about. You have to be very, very clear and know, why are you here and what are you excited about? Let's actually take a minute or two and discuss that. We'll just ask a few people, what are you excited about? What are you excited about? Shadon, what are you excited about?
I'm excited about helping.
Harold, I'm gonna pick on Shadon because he always picks on you. Shadon, what are you excited about? Why are you here?
I'm excited about helping others. Just today, got a message from Shirley, somebody that she's helping. She went to the doctor. She came off like 4 of her medication, high blood pressure, diabetes, and stuff like that. So getting these messages and hearing this gets me excited to keep helping others.
Okay, I like it. Very nice. Very nice. What else, Shadon? What are you excited about?
I'm excited.
Did you do the program?
Yeah, I did the program. I still stay on the program. I'm excited about how my health has been since I started this program and where I'm at financially since starting coaches. I'm even more excited that I see the coaches that we have helped and what's doing it for them, and more that's coming on that they want to help others.
Okay. So Don, what about the income that you've made from Optavia, from coaching? How has that benefited you? How has that blessed your family?
Oh, tremendously. From moving into our home, purchasing our own home, to getting a dream of having a pool in our backyard and getting that all established, and all the way around. Last year, COVID happened. I was able to stay home with the kids like everybody else, but it wasn't a big transition. It wasn't hard for us because this was something that we were already doing. So we were able to work from home, and I was able to still teach. Actually, not able to. I was teaching them. So it helped out our family tremendously, the financial part of being a health coach and helping others.
Nice. Very nice. So you guys, what is Shadon doing? All he's doing is telling his what? He's just telling his story. That's all he pretty much did. He just told us his story. That's what he's excited about. Everybody on here has a story. Everybody on here has something on how Optavia has, either the program or coaching has blessed and changed their life in some way. That is your story. This is what you're excited about. It almost reminds me of like when we go watch a movie that we love, we're super, super excited about this movie and we want to go and share it and tell everybody. Or if you found a restaurant that you like and the food was good, the service was amazing, what is the first thing most people do? They pick up the phone and they want to go tell what they're excited about, how this food was delicious and how it changed their life. So this is your story. So this is where we want to get really, really good at identifying what are you excited about? How has the program, whether it's physically, whether you've lost some weight, whether you increased energy, you came off medication, this is your story, but this is what you're excited about. Whether it's financially as a coach, even if you've helped one client and you've made some income, what have you done with that income? This is what we're excited about. So now that we know what we're excited about in our story, now we want to know who are we going to tell it to? Who are we going to share with? Who are we going to tell it to? Okay. So that was the third thing, is your story. What are you excited about? The fourth system check or steps to acquiring as 19 clients and reaching executive director is we want to work off of a list. I repeat that. We want to work off of a list. Every successful coach works off of a list. Okay. Again, success leaves clues. You want to be successful? Do what successful coaches do. So we want to have 2 lists. We want to have 2 lists, and I'm going to speed up a little bit so I don't go over time. I mean, I might go over time a little bit. So if you guys need to jump off, go ahead, but bear with me here because I think this is very, very important for those that actually want to go ED. You want to have two lists. The first list is going to consist of what we're going to call your contact list. That first list is going to be your contact list. That's going to be a list of everybody you know, every single person you know. They say there's a statistics that everybody knows at least 300 people by first name. And I know some of y'all are looking at me like, I do not know 300 people. I don't know 300 people. And I think we did this last week or a couple of weeks ago, but I can almost guarantee if you pull out your phone and you scroll, you go to your contacts and you scroll to the bottom, I'm pretty sure everyone has at least 300 to 500 contacts in their phone. So when we talk about your contact list, there's where you can put down people that you know is from your phone. Where else can you get some names from your contact list? This is going to be everybody you know. Facebook is a great place to go and find people. Pretty much, I know most people have at least 300 to 500 people on their Facebook. If you don't, then we need to teach you guys how to add some friends and be more social. but Facebook is a great place to do that. When you post on Facebook and you post a transformation or you post your kids or your dog, anything, and you get people that like your post, I'm pretty sure everyone gets at least 5, 10, 15, 20 people that like their post. These are people you want to add to your contact list. So this list want to consist of everybody that you know. Okay. The second list is going to be what we call your heart list. So we want to have two lists. One is your contact list. That contact list is going to be at least 300 names, at least 300 names. I remember I did this with Portia and we actually spent, she was probably thinking I was crazy because we probably spent 20 minutes writing down a list of 200-300 people. Didn't we, Portia? So first list is everybody you know.
We sure did.
We sure did. And that's going to be at least 300 people. And then your other list is your heart list. Why is it a heart list? These are people that are on your heart. These are going to be people that are close to you, your close friends and family. When I first sat down with Tamara and I asked her, Tamara, who's on your heart? Who do you want to see get healthy? Who's on your heart? And some of those people are on this call. Her mom was the number one person on her heart list. Her aunt was on her heart list. Her best friend, Lanita, was on her heart list. You know, it's funny. 3 of those people are here. Her cousin, Felicia, was on her heart list. These are people on her heart list. And so these are the people she first connected with and reached out to. And what did that sound like? She reached out to him and said, you know what, I'm thinking about you. You're on my heart. This is what I found. She just pretty much told them what she's excited about. She told them what she was excited about. And she told them, because you're on my heart, I love you, I care about you, and I want to see you get healthy. I want to share with you what's changed my life. So that heart list, again, is going to be the close people on your heart, people that you know needs to get healthy. There really isn't no pitch to say to them, but you just come from the heart. And Barbara, did she not come from the heart and tell you exactly why she wanted you to get healthy? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So those are our 2 lists. So we want to have 2 lists, our master contact list of everybody we know and our heart list. Okay. And so now that we have our list, first we know what we want. We're very, very clear on what we want, how much income we want to make. We are very, very clear on, we know what we're excited about. We have our story. We know who we want to go share it with and talk to because we've made a list and we're very intentional. The one thing unsuccessful coaches do is they don't have a list and they get on Facebook and they just start scrolling and say, well, who am I going to speak to and talk to today? That is a waste of time. Waste of time. So we want to be intentional. Every single day when I wake up, remember, I look at my lines on paper and I think to myself, who am I going to serve? I know who I'm going to talk to because the night before, I know who I'm going to talk to the next morning is because I have a list. And every single day, I'm just going to go to the next 10 people on that list. And I'm going to do step number 4, go start a conversation. Step number 4 is I'm going to go start a conversation. Okay. Oh, I'm going to speed up because I forgot I do have a call at 7. Sorry, guys. So we go start a conversation. What does that conversation sound like? What does it look like? Well, we talked about our heart list, you know, how to start that conversation. But on that other contact list, every single day, I'm going to connect with at least 10 people on that list, at least 10 on that master contact list. And I'm just going to go start a conversation. That conversation I'm going to say is just going to be, hi, Yadira, how are you? Don't make it difficult. Coaches say all the time, well, James, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to start a conversation. How do you start a conversation, guys? Hi, what's up? How are you doing? How are the kids? Oh my goodness, school just started. Are your kids in school? How do you feel about them going back to? Just go be human and go start a conversation. When you go do that and you ask people, what's up? How are you doing? How's life treating you? What's been up with you? Naturally, what are they going to ask you? They're probably going to ask you, well, Yadira, what's up with you? Or James, what's up with you? How are you doing? And what are you going to tell them? What are you excited about? That's what I'm going to share with them. What am I excited about? What is Shadon? What was he excited about? I'm excited. I became a coach, and I not only did I get healthy and I lost weight, but I'm helping other people. Coaching allowed me to purchase my house. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I was able to design my own pool. Man, you got to come over sometime next year or this summer or whenever and come check out my pool. I'm just going to share what I'm excited about. I'm going to share my story. And now if they're looking for you, write this down. You were only looking for people that are looking for you. Barbara, you're only looking for people that are looking for you. Lanita, you're only looking for people that are looking for you. So when you share your story and what you're excited about, if they're looking for help, if they're looking to lose some weight, if they want to make extra income to be able to design a pool, if they want to purchase their home and they want to make extra income, what are they going to say? Oh my goodness, wait a minute. How did you do that? Or what are you doing? And then this is where we say, well, hey, well, what's going on? You know, are you looking to lose some weight, or you know someone that is? Well, yeah, I've put on some weight. You know, COVID happened. I put on that COVID 30. Well, let's get on the phone and let's talk about it. And all we're doing is we're setting up a time to do a health assessment. So I literally, you guys, will do this with at least 10 people every single day. Remember that master contact list? The reason why you want to do at least 300, because if you do that with 10 people every single day, that's 300 people that you start a conversation with. And that's just approaching 10 people, saying hi, how are you doing? Telling them what you're excited about, and sharing your story. Now, I know that if we go do that with at least 10 people, there is no reason why we shouldn't be able to find 19 people that want to get healthy out of 300 people. And what's amazing about that, this is our last thing is that conversation. This is something that you want to do consistently every single day. And what's amazing about that is, well, people look at me and say, well, James, I don't have time to connect with 300 people. To start a conversation with 10 people every single day probably only takes about 15 minutes. So when people tell me, James, I don't have time to go start 10 conversations, well, we won't even get into that. We won't even go there. Because reaching out to 10 people and saying, hi, remember, that's if you're staring at this paper and you're saying to yourself, who can I serve today? Whose life am I going to change today? And if your goal is, everybody raise their hand saying, I want to help people. If your goal really is to help people, then starting 10 conversations is not hard and does not take up a lot of time if we're doing it consistently. And so the bonus tip I have for you guys is block out time on your calendar, because I do understand we're busy. We have jobs, we have babies, we have multiple babies, we have kids back in school, we have responsibilities, we have sick family members. So I understand we're busy. So block out 1 hour on your calendar every single day where you're going to go focus on starting conversations. That hour does not have to be 1 full hour. If you have to break it up into 15-minute increments, go do that. 15 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 30 minutes, 2 30-minute increments, 4 15 minutes. If that's what it takes, then go do it. But I'm pretty sure everybody, if your goal is I want to serve and help people, everybody can find 1 hour on your calendar where you can go focus on starting these conversations. Cool? Does anybody have any questions on that? Any questions? Ricky, go ahead. You're gonna have to come off mute.
People that you already have as clients, they will go on the list that where you have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And do they, when you, the 19 people that you already have, they fill up the first how many spots, depending on how many people you have? Is that what I'm saying? And so you only have to fill up the next, however, how many that you don't have that makes up 19?
Yes and no. So I'm sorry, let me clarify what that other 5 was. So for you, Ricky, how many clients are you helping right now? How many clients do you have?
It's about,
Ricky,
he says 10.
Okay, so Ricky, what you're going to do is on that list of number 1 through 10, you're going to go write numbers 1 through 10, every single one of your clients.
Okay.
Go write their names down, every single one of your clients, 1 through 10.
Okay.
So now in order for you to reach executive director, which is the next milestone for you, is executive director, I know that you need to just go fill up numbers 11 through 19. And so every single morning when you wake up, you're going to look at that list and think, whose name is going to go on my list today? Okay. And then that 5, what that 5 is, we didn't get into this and I won't go deep into this, but for every 5 clients you have, there's at least 2 coaches in there.
Okay.
Every 5 clients that you have, there's at least 2 coaches in there. And because time, we won't get into that, but there's at least 2. I know every client that I bring on, I expect them to be a coach. So if I have 5 clients, I expect 5 coaches, but that's just my mindset. But at least every 5 clients, there's at least 2 coaches in there. And so what this 5 is this is where these are our coaches. So while we're building our clients to reach executive director, we're going to do celebration calls and different things to move these clients, these 19 clients, over to as a coach. And so as you bring on a coach, that's where you're going to fill in those 5 lines of your coaches, Ricky. So like you would put Carol in there, you would put Shirley on there. Your coaches would go there on that 5. Okay. Good question. Good question. Any other questions? No other questions? Okay. All right, guys. So thank you guys all for being on. I know I'm 10 minutes over. I really, really do appreciate you guys. But I think this was very important because this is how it's done. This is literally the action steps that if your goal is to help people and to reach executive director. And what's amazing is that we have a series right now teaching us how to go ED in 6 weeks. But again, once a coach actually makes a decision that they want to do these steps, it only takes about 4 to 6 weeks to go executive director. It shouldn't take that long. It really shouldn't. All right. Well, thank you guys all for being on, and we'll see you guys all next week. Let's go out and
Thank you.
yeah, you're welcome. Let's go out and help some people.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Y'all.
Bye, everybody.